Well, Clark Wendlandt, another fantastic day today, and I feel like in the springtime, there's a few things you can count on. It's trees blossoming, turkeys gobbling, and you catching bass.
Well, I appreciate that. You know, I really I love the pre-spawn and kind of leading into the spawn. I've had a number of good events in the last several years, you know, fishing this, but this lake is what I really like. I mean, this lake is a cool place, and the reason is just so gigantic. I mean, it is a huge lake. It doesn't make it that easy to cover a tournament for you guys, but for people like me that can just go fish patterns, it really makes it nice.
Well, it is interesting because if we look back at some of the events in recent years, you've had top 10s on. You know, you go like Lewis Smith a couple years ago, even Hartwell, you know, this time of year, but you'd get kind of crammed up. You know, you'd have other people in fishing around you, and you know, it kind of depletes a little bit. Now you kind of have full rain, which is a new dynamic we haven't experienced on tour in quite a long time.
Yeah, it's and I mean, and this place is just, I mean, it's really like Beaver Lake. I mean, it looks exactly like Beaver Lake. You get back in the pockets, it looks like Beaver Lake. You get out on the main lake, it looks like Beaver Lake. I've never seen a place, when I put my boat in the water, I told my wife, I said, it looks like Beaver Lake on steroids. I mean, it's the exact same lake, it's just a lot bigger. And you know, this pre-spawn time of year, and the cool thing about this fishery is you got largemouth, smallmouth, and spotted bass, and they're all going to play in the tournament.
Very much so. And we've seen it a lot. Guys that weighed in, you know, majority largemouths yesterday, catching spotted bass today. What was the makeup of your catch the last 2 days?
The first day I had 4 smallmouth, 1 largemouth, and today I had 2 largemouth and 3 smallmouth. And I've caught some nice spots too, but it's just harder to get a big spot.
Right. I'm kind of curious about this because in practice I've heard guys, you could go down a stretch of bank and you could catch a nice largemouth and you could catch a smallmouth right after that. The stuff you're fishing, is it more geared towards one species or another, or are they all mixed together?
Well, actually, it was kind of interesting. The tournament, when in practice, the way it started out, if you were fishing, you know, one way, you could catch smallmouth, but you weren't going to catch a largemouth or spot.
Okay.
And then you fish a different way, you catch. Now it's kind of where they're all mixing together. And see, I think things are changing. I think changing, just consistently changing. And so, you know, I think it's going to be anybody's tournament, because you're going to have to figure it out as you go.
And no doubt you're one of the best at, you know, dialing it in as they move. And I think the thing I want to know is, if we look at the forecast, obviously yesterday was pretty nasty, rain, cold. Today it was still kind of cold, you know, first day after the front. Now we're going to get into warm, sunny conditions and less wind. To me, that says if there's some fish that may be locked on a bed and are still on there, you might be able to catch one sight fishing. Is that maybe going to be in the back of your head to go look for a couple?
Yeah. I mean, sight fishing is going to play in this tournament. I really believe. I just believe, mainly because of the weather, the moon's coming. You know, we're not that far from a full moon. They want to spawn like crazy because the days are getting a little bit longer. Water's warmer, dogwoods are blooming. I mean, everything says spawn. So, you know, in my mind, I'm thinking, yeah, there's going to be some spawning fish. Now, whether that is the dominant pattern that wins the tournament, we just have to figure that out.
But it'll be a factor.
It could be, easily could be a factor.
Well, Clark, we'll let you get rolling and go get them tomorrow, man.
Thanks, Kyle. Appreciate it.